Hey folks, this is Nate coming at you on, what is it, it's Thursday night on June 20th. It's almost summer solstice. So tonight, I have the final 6th installment of the Canon Bladestyles Project that I have been working on. I was hoping to get this on film several weeks ago, but things have just gotten so busy with work and family and other things that I just haven't had time until now to get back to it. But we're gonna have some time tonight, so here we go. And so before I go into it, just wanted to give another couple of shout outs here. First one is to Carlos Hernandez. So this saber that I've been using for these demos is an Electrum Sabercrafts Torrent. This is one of my favorite sort of active hilt styles to play around with. I have 2 of these now, both custom installed by Carlos the same way. He did a fully removable custom Profi V39 chassis for me here with angled board, really nicely done, and a nice kill switch here. And this has some nice solid pin contact here. So he got the measurements on the inside of this really nicely done. So everything is really nice and snug. The pins aren't too pressured, but they fit just right. And I've been really enjoying using this saber for these demos. The sound venting on this particular hilt is really, really good. And this is sporting a, I think it's a Saber Bay 28mm speaker. And it's just been booming loud. And the blade I'm using tonight is one of the custom 264 LED blades that Shane Overton custom made for me. So Shane, thank you very much for this blade. I've been using this for a lot of these demos, and it is just a bit brighter than the KR blades that I own, and it's really nicely, solidly built. So thank you again for this blade. So with that, we're going to jump into the final installment of these Canon Bladestyle projects. So tonight I'm going to do 5 presets. I've got 4 for Luke, Return of the Jedi, and then I've got 1 for Vader. And the 4 sound fonts I'm using for Luke are the Alliance Hero from Syndicate Custom Relics. And then I'm going to tell you them in order so that you can hear each one, because they're all fairly distinctive. They're all really, really good. First one is Alliance Hero from Syndicate Custom Relics. Second one is the Return V2 from Kyberphonic. The third one is LS6 V2 from KSIF. And then the fourth one is Luke EP6 from BK Saber Sounds. And then the 1 Vader preset that I'm using is the Father ROTJ V2 from Kyberphonic. So these are all great sound fonts, and I'll leave links in my video description about where you can go to get these. If any of these versions of the Luke you don't have yet, I encourage you to get all 4 of them. They're all really, really good.
Battery power level.
I'll never turn to the dark side.
So this first one is an audio flicker, I believe. Yeah, so this one is basically a standard 2-tone audio flicker. I've got my custom green at 100% and 50%, so it's got a nice robust flicker on this thing. Let me adjust my camera here real quick so I can move back here. So I've got 2 variations on Luke's Blast. On his indoor fights, his blast is a little bit more red, and then I've got one variation where his blast is a little bit more orange, and that's from the indoor scene. When it's outside in the daylight, it took on more of sort of an orangish red tint. And so this green is not a standard green. This green is running 245 in the green channel. It's running a 33 in the red channel and a 23 in the blue channel. So it's sort of a midway between a spring green and a chartreuse. And this color match actually wasn't nearly as hard as the color matching that I've done for some of the previous blade styles in this project. This is probably one of the easier ones.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
And this is the Return V2. And this one, I believe, this is a random flicker blade. And so this is blinking, I think this is using 3 ratios of this color, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's using, it's using 3 ratios of this color. So it's using a 100%, 66%, and then 33%. So the flickering is not going to be as hard as the audio flicker was, but still a little bit of flicker in there. The blasts on this fun are incredible.
Luke Skywalker.
And this is LS6V2 from Kasith. And this one is sort of a combo flicker. I like this one. This is pretty cool. So what I'm doing on this one is I'm doing sort of a top static layer. And then I'm actually doing an alpha swing layer that's just a tad bit darker. It's about 20% darker than the static main blade layer. And then I'm doing a pulse layer on top of that, which you can kind of see here, which is about 40% brighter than the top static main blade color. So it's got a static, and then a swing color that's just a tad bit dimmer, and then I got a pulse on top of that, which I think is on a 2-second rotation. And then I'm also using sort of a darker emitter wick. It's a little hard to see on this one because I didn't size it too large. And the emitter depth on this is pretty good. It's about 2.5 inches. So if you're using this blade style on a saber that's got like a blade insertion depth of 2 inches or more shallow, like for something like a Mom Hero saber, for example, that emitter wick is going to be a lot more visible. This is the brighter orange, the Endor Moon blaster block.
I am a Jedi.
And this is Luke EP6. And this is from BK Saber Sounds. And this is a rotoscope. And this rotoscope is going to have a little bit harder of a blink than you might have otherwise gotten if you plugged in this color value into FET263's Bladestyle library. And the reason for that is that I'm actually using 4 ratio values of this green inside this rotoscope. So it's going to blink a little bit harder than normal. I ratioed it at 100%, 75, 50, and 25% in the various color values for the rotoscope main blade style. Okay, now we come to the last one in this set. This is the Vader, and this is sound font is the Father ROTJV2 from Hydrophonic. Now this blade style, I want to say a couple of things about this blade style real quick. So this is the same sort of combo that I was using for the LS6V2, where I'm using that static layer, and then I'm using an alpha layer below it on the swing, and then I'm using a pulsing layer below that. So I'm using that same blade style combination for this one for Vader. And the reason I did that is because when I went back and reviewed that scene in the throne room, that fight, when Vader's walking around, there's a really evident pulsing effect that's going on in his saber during that scene. But there's also sort of a flicker happening too. So part of my toying around with this was to try and capture both of those functions as best I could on the blade style without like making it like totally out of control. And it's using the same red color value that I demoed for you for his A New Hope, because that color red is essentially the same color in Return of the Jedi. There are a couple of short clips in the scene where it looks a little bit more orange, but through most of the scene, it's a pretty good color match. And that value is a red of 183 in the red channel, 12 in the green channel, and 3 in the blue channel. That's the base RGB value for this red that I'm using. And I want to give a special thanks to Brian Connor and Austin Moore for this emitter flash on Ignition that they posted up in the Profi Board support group on Facebook a couple of days ago. So I went ahead and I grabbed that emitter flash on Ignition, and I incorporated it into this blade style because I like the way it fit. So I took a little bit more artistic license on this one, but it's still pretty Canon.
What is thy bidding, my master?
So you notice that white emitter flash right on the base. And it drops in to that nice rich light red. So you notice how it pulses and then flickers and then pulses and then flickers. And this is also using an emitter wick. Base.
He is your master now. It is too late for me, son. That name no longer has any meaning for me. Yes, your thoughts betray you.
And so there's also a little bit of an emitter flash on the retraction as well.
Indeed, you are powerful, as the Emperor has foreseen.
And I'll show you on the ignition one more time. It's just very brief.
Indeed, you are powerful, as the Emperor has foreseen.
Battery power level.
So those are my my EP6 Return of the Jedi styles. And as always, I will make sure these go up in Pastebin, and I'll leave the Pastebin link in my video description. If any of you would like a copy of them for your Profi sabers, please feel free to grab them, pick them apart, use pieces of them you like, or use the whole thing if you like. One thing I will mention, because somebody did engage me via email when I was first starting out this project. Actually, a couple of people did. And it was only later that I found out that I think at least one of the people that engaged me asking about this project runs a business selling customized sabers. So the one thing I will say about these is that, as most of you know, as all of you should know, that watch my videos, and if you use any of my styles, I give them away for free because it's not my tool. It's Fernando de Rosa's tool. And so I'm just lucky enough to be able to play around with that, with the tools he's built, and sort of assemble these modified styles and have fun with them. So I put them up for free. I don't make any money off them at all. So the only thing I would ask is take them, use them, enjoy them, but don't charge people money for them. That's the only thing I request. So if you know, I start to see like custom sabers being sold out there with blade styles that look eerily familiar to the ones that I've custom made, I'll probably ask you to make sure you're not charging people for that work, because it is open source work that is being provided for free. So anyway, that's really my only request. Enjoy it, have fun, enjoy Star Wars. This stuff is awesome, Lightsabers are awesome. The saber community is awesome, and it's a lot of fun. And now I have to sit down and think about what I want to tinker around with next. So, all right, y'all. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.